Everyone seems to be scared of sequels. For Pixar, which I'm going to focus on mainly in this video, you've got Incredibles 3, Toy Story 5, Coco 2. I mean, how are you going to make Coco 2? Coco is literally dead. Point is, there's a lot of sequels being made, which is scary to some. But today, I'm here to tell you why you shouldn't be scared of sequels, and instead you should not be excited, but you should be okay with it at least. So let's get straight into it. The first reason you shouldn't be scared is because there's already a lot of them. It's not really that big of a change if there's more in the future. For Pixar alone, they have a ton of different sequels. Incredibles 2, Monsters University, Inside Out 2, all of the Toy Stories, all of the Cars, there's so many. But just because there's a lot of them doesn't mean that they're not good. If you look at these movies, I would argue that almost all of them are good, and if not, just not terrible. At the very least, meh. Give me that, okay? So going forward, if they just make more sequels, who's to say they're going to be bad? We haven't seen the movie yet. There's potential. I'll admit, having 5 movies in the same universe is a little rough. But hey, if it's good, who cares? Some people would argue that even though those sequels are good, they're still not good. Those are resources that Pixar could have spent on original movies. But no, they had to go and make sequels. But then again, to counter that, you got Toy Story 2 and 3. They both made more money for the studio, and I would argue that they're at least on par with Toy Story 1. So it was a win-win-win-win-win. Win. What I'm not saying is that Pixar should just keep on making sequels. What I am saying is that they are still making original movies, and oh my goodness, there's so many original movies, not just by Pixar, but people don't watch them as much. Just to name 3 movies that are absolutely gobstoppingly amazing that you probably haven't seen. There's How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, Memoir of a Snail, and Flow. Yes, 2 of them were in the Oscars. All 3 of these movies are fully original, and they are amazing. Just watch them. I know my opinion doesn't mean much to you, but watch them. If you haven't seen those 3 movies at the very minimum, then why are you complaining about there being too many sequels? You're choosing not to watch the original stuff. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense because it did better. On the subject of money, sequels make money. There's a lot of other videos that cover why that happens, and I don't really care, but they make money. That's what you need to know. So in a business model, when you make a sequel, your goal is to make money. Now, when you make an original movie, your goal is to have the opportunity to make sequels to make money. So what this does is it creates a system where when you create a sequel, it provides money for something original, which can then later on be turned into a sequel. Therefore, infinite money. All that to say that if you want original movies, you need sequels, or you need an original movie that does really well. Sinners is crushing it in the box office. That thing is fully original, and yet it's making millions. Boom, a successful original project. You can make another original movie off that, or you can make a Sinners sequel and make even more money. Inside Out, that movie alone made a ton of money, and it was fully original. You can use that money for another original movie, or another sequel. Look at last year's Inside Out 2. It was the top-grossing animated movie of all time, until that Chinese movie came along. All of that to say that sequels create originals, and originals create sequels. It's a cyclical process. I learned that word today. So that brings me to my last point. When sequels are made, they shine light on what came before. Think about it with me. If Toy Story 1 was just Toy Story 1, it's a good movie. If you ask 90% of people what their favorite Pixar movie is, they'd say Toy Story. But because 2, 3, and 4 exist, it's much more ingrained into culture, and especially in animation culture. Since all the movies were good and passable, the studio got their money and the audience got some really good movies. That's what a studio does. That's what they're supposed to do. Make money while also making good products. That's business. So, long story short, if you're one of those people who keeps on crying about sequels, stop. Give them a chance, or alternatively, just go to Timbuktu and find a nice and tall bridge and hurl yourself off into a soft... Don't die. But if you did, I wouldn't be against it.